name is Tish Mejias, and I'm a counselor at Upper Darby High School. I've been a counselor here for the last 9 years. I grew up in Washington Heights, graduated from high school, went to Lock Haven University, which was great. Got me out of the neighborhood for a little while.
I had the opportunity to meet her when she actually worked for Penn State University, and she was working in the city of Philadelphia as their recruitment officer.
I was comfortable. I was happy working for Penn State as an admissions counselor, visiting high schools in New York, Connecticut, and then later on just in the Philadelphia area. With college admissions, you really only get them after they're already done with high school and they're graduated, and I found that I really needed to get to them sooner. I wanted them to get this information I felt like they were missing.
She didn't get that personal feel with working with kids one-on-one. So I think that's the reason that she moved into counseling.
By being at the high school level, I really get a chance to be able to have that impact.
We're fortunate that we have the house system here at Upper Darby High School, so she gets to spend 3 years with her students, so she can really guide them.
Working for a school like Upper Darby with the population was my dream. It's the reason I wanted to be a counselor. The first day that I walked down the hall to my center, I literally was on the brink of tears, and my colleagues, they're like, "Oh, Tish." But I really was. It's where I wanted to be.
The job of the guidance counselor, it's a lot of things, but it is advocate for the student.
And that is really broad. That could be as a cheerleader, that could be as their mirror, that could be as a resource.
She has a lot of students and she works really hard to make time for each and every one of them.
Everything that I do in my job is geared towards making sure that they're as successful as they can be in their high school career.
She checks in on our students if there's students that are struggling with various courses.
She always emails us about scholarships.
SATs and PSAT administration, and junior college planning night and senior college planning night, financial aid night.
Even when she's really busy in her office sending emails and always on her feet, she always makes time for her students.
A lot of it is about relationship building, building trust between the counselor and the student.
She always gives the best advice, even when I'm feeling really down or really stressed out about a class. She just always finds a way to say something that makes me feel better.
She makes you feel special and wanted, and she makes time for you.
Anytime they accomplish something, she sends them a note, a personal handwritten note.
It really could be anything big or small, but just something so that they get a note from me in their homeroom folder, just to congratulate them.
She's a big cheerleader for all the students throughout the school, not just our seniors.
She has a lot of school spirit.
She's involved in so many things within the school. She's the super counselor.
If I hear about an event that my students involved in, I make every effort to attend that event.
She spends all of her weekends here, seeing all of her kids and her activities.
The fall plays, the spring musicals.
She comes to sporting events and all the school spirit stuff.
She's always there cheering everyone on.
To know that there's somebody there that saw them and saw what they did and that they did good, I think is important.
She does so much. It's hard to explain.
She just was a consultant on the play that they just did here, the musical.
I grew up in Washington Heights, which is the Upper West Side of Manhattan, and so when I heard that they were doing a musical in the Heights, I was all about it.
The show was so close to her heart because she grew up there. And so what she did was she helped everyone learn what we had to say in Spanish.
Coming up to students and personally talking to them and say, hey, this word, you pronounce it this way, or this, you should give this emotion because this is what this word means.
Kind of give them a feel of what my neighborhood was like so that they could recreate it on the stage.
It created more character into the show.
So she spent countless hours, almost as much as the cast members of the play, with these kids just because she enjoyed being with them and watching them work.
She went to every single performance.
Came backstage and hugged us and told us we did a great job. And she even cried with us when it was over.
They just put their whole hearts and souls into it. They made me really proud. And it was really nice. They kind of brought me home for a little bit.
For us, it's tough with counselors. It's a little easier with some other people and other jobs, so you can see with test scores. It's really tough to measure at times how a counselor makes a difference because sometimes it's intangible. But one way to really log that is if the students tell you. And there's never any shortage of that when it comes with Tish.
Just having a positive energy around all the time, even when she's stressed, she still has a smile on her face.
She's a very positive person. She gives positive feedback. She knows how to tell you that yeah, this happens, but there's a brighter side.
I'm gonna miss seeing her every day because you're never gonna find someone like her. She's one of a kind.
My high school experience would not be the same without her.
To me, it couldn't be more obvious, even though sometimes it's tough to define how a counselor makes a difference. But with Tish, it's fairly clear.
The passion of a guidance counselor should be to help not only students but everyone around you as much as possible. And Ms. Mejias does that and beyond.
All of the other stuff will come, all of the paperwork and everything else will come, but it's the connections that I make with the kids that I think kind of see me through, you know, and there are absolutely some days where I just feel like defeated or feel like I'm not making a difference, and then there are just as many days where I leave and I go home and feel great. So I'm just glad to be here.